We are live. Alrighty, everyone. So stream delays being a little bit funky. Hopefully it will iron itself out. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. But once again, welcome to the NECC match. This one is going to be our last one before playoffs, which start next week. And if I remember correctly, we clinched that playoff spot a while ago. Still, in case anyone forgot, undefeated record. In fact, I do not believe we have lost a single point, and if we have, it has only been one. Starting off strong, we've got random generated map, which is going to be Hell's Heaven for us. We see Hell's Heaven a lot, but it's not a bad map to play on for domination. There's certainly worse ones. It is, at the very least, visually interesting to watch. So we are going to see quite possibly some Elsa play here. Starting off with a Namor ban. Thank God. I hate Namor. As you can see over here, they do have a Namor player who has enough to have a special icon, but looks like they're not going to get to play him today. It is just me alone on stream for now, at least. So I hope you all enjoy that. There it is. Anyway, yeah, now you get me just awkwardly trying to reach the soundboard, except not reaching across Roofless. So slightly less time consuming, which is admittedly a little less funny. Anyway, popping back over to these bans and picks. Them banning Gambit, a little bit sucks for us, which, speaking of, we are seeing in the new season drop, which comes out, I believe that would be 3 days, Friday? I don't know, around then. End of this week, it's gonna change a whole lot of what's good and what's not good. We're also getting a new character, White Fox. Everybody's very excited about her, myself included, but it's going to make some characters a whole lot less viable. But looking at the rest of these, protecting Warlock for them, okay, fine. We are looking to get some Elsa play, which, although it's on the other team, is still exciting for me because I really enjoy her. Over here, we've banned Psylocke, which would indicate probably they've got a pretty good Psylocke player, given that we also do. But Strange protects, nothing new for us. Good to see what we've got going into this match. Wondering if we're gonna, we will, I would assume, probably see some triple sub again from one of the teams. But very exciting. Getting ready to see what this round is gonna bring us. Yeah, I don't know. Domination's always my favorite to commentate on because I think it is the most dynamic, because you actually can, like, so with Convoy and Convergence, once whoever gets control first, or whoever is attack versus defense, depending on whichever game mode it is, they're the only ones. Like, it can't swap back over. Let's see if it'll let me actually. There we go. All right. They're the only ones who can, you know, then gain any more control. Whereas when we're on Domination, it can actually switch at pretty much a moment's notice, especially because it loads a little faster here when it comes to controlling point, because Domination is built to do that. So it's a little bit more dynamic, and, you know, we're still pretty good at it, so not that much of a worry. But getting some more fantastic from Jess here. We've seen some of that this season. Didn't really see much of it last season. If I recall correctly, we saw like probably 20 minutes total of fantastic gameplay from anyone on our team, maybe even less. But he's pretty good right now, and Jess has quite been enjoying it. Getting some, as usual, Luna gameplay. Definitely lovely to see. Yeah, we're losing a lot of, so with the change coming up, Jeff is going to be a whole lot less viable, which does suck, especially because we have Jeff Ducky costume now. And literally, what's the point if not Jeff Ducky costume? But generally speaking, we're going to see probably quite a bit more Luna, especially while we wait for the new support White Fox to pop into play. Got some good Emma gameplay over here. I will forever love this Emma skin. It's so good. But all right, let's see what we got going on here. Probably see some Phoenix. This also, this is, I think this one's called the Seed of Spring skin. I might be getting that mixed up with one of the other ones, but this skin just dropped a couple weeks ago, and oh my gosh, it almost made me start playing Phoenix just because I liked the skin so much that I wanted to use it. But then I played Phoenix for approximately 15 minutes and remembered that I can't play Phoenix. But that's a gorgeous ult bomb from the team here. Probably see that Luna one that's going to center us on a lot of the action. It's almost an ace for us. It still might pull through, not quite. But yeah, that was a pretty good one. We do have Strange ult charged, so we will probably see that soon. So like, we dumped all of them except Emma and Strange, which means they'll probably sequence those ones, or at the very least, use them pretty soon, or, oh! Great pull through there. Looking like backline supporting gorgeously as always, but still not quite good enough when you get pulled back by 2 ults in a row. But let's see what we can get here. Some nice rocket gameplay. We don't see a ton of him, but he's very fun. Well, he's also dead. But still, we're definitely holding a whole lot of control, and I would imagine, especially with his Strange ult charged and a portal ready if we need it, we're gonna pull back that control pretty fast. Anyway, I should probably open up chat. Wouldn't that be a useful thing to do? Okay, so fun fact, the stream info did not get updated. Actually, just ignore that. Let's see if we're up now, but amen, girl, you are Phoenix. Oh. Ooh. Still got that Strange ult charge. Strange ult from the other team immediately killed. Probably why we're not using those now. Unfortunately, Strange ult does take a few seconds, which leaves him pretty vulnerable, but it's also not his strongest ability anyway. But there it is. Ruthless isn't here to say it, but I guess I'll do it in his honor. That's the Ive, I'ma go, bro. He's never gonna let that go, by the way. The fact that I said it willingly, but that's okay. Got a fantastic ult charge. Also, there it is. Ooh. This one's so funny to watch when you're in game because it looks absolutely ridiculous, but it is effective. So. Jesus Christ. Alright, guys. Born again. This became way closer than I was expecting here. But still clinched as always. And we remain undefeated because we're cracked. And hopefully going to continue that for the rest of the season. I would not find it surprising given the trophy that is sitting in the other room right now. But all right, let's see what we got here. What I am a little bit intrigued by is the fact that that entire round, that first whole section of the domination round, we did not see, I don't believe, anyone on our team swap characters other than Max swapped on, so we were on triple sub instead of being on Emma, which is something we did see last night. Very interesting. We're seeing Max flex a little bit more onto, well, now he's on Mag, so nothing new there. But definitely not complaint. Mag's such a good character to watch. His voice line's a little bit funky though, but that's okay. Anyway, yeah, we're seeing, like I mentioned earlier, did predict it, a lot more triple sub here. It's pretty entrenched in the current meta, which, for better or for worse, I guess. As a support player, I don't mind it, but also as a support player, I hate it. It does mean that the picks and bans sort of not incidentally, it just kind of comes with the territory. They carry a little bit more weight when triple sub is heavy in the meta, or when we're looking at a anything that's a little bit different of a comp. So even if it was triple anything else, but with triple sub, because there's less supports in the game, which ones get banned make a pretty big difference when having 3 is a common team composition. But got another strange ult charge here.
Ancient one, I hope my successes make
My goat Liam O'Brien.
Capture the mission area.
All right. Slower. Getting here again. With this, we are back to what our original team comp was, and I think makes sense because it's working for us. But here's that Emma ult. It's gonna get us a pretty good vantage point of what's going on here. Despite the fact that she's frontline, she is gonna see everyone. That was the Elsa ult from the other team. Her ult lets her let out this like devil and monster guy she has, because she's like a monster hunter. Shout out Elsa Bloodstone. I love you, my pookie wookie. Anyway, yeah, so she's a gunslinger hunter type situation. She's got a trap, and then she's also got that ult that lets out this monster guy who sort of like latches onto a character, similar to the way we see Angela's dive function, where she, you know, spears her weapon in and then drags. The Elsa ult does the same kind of thing with a little bit of an AoE thing added. That being said, she did immediately get, her ult got nerfed, I think like 4 days after she dropped, because the math was a little off on that and it was dealing an insane amount of AoE. So they pulled it back a little bit and then brought down the percentages. But I am hoping that maybe during playoffs we'll see some Elsa from our team, but in practices, pretty much no one's been playing her, other than me. But let's see what we got here. I see a Phoenix ult probably as soon as there's any relevant threat on point. There it is. How center are we gonna get this? Alright, that's okay. A little bit off there, but that's obviously fine. We are still doing quite well. Got some fantastic punching people as usual, and there's that point. So you know what that means? Domination round clinched. We are now up. I've lost my OBS. That's not good. We have clinched that one. Unsurprisingly, we usually win domination straight through, but definitely good to see. I'm gonna wait until these stats pop up. It's kick-ass animation first, though. God, I love Phoenix. Always love to see Cass pull the MVP there, and my guess is the stats will make sense for that. So if we're pulling that, yeah, got the quad. That being said, these numbers a little off, so we do know, right, the final hits number has a bit more influence than it perhaps should when compared to like kill count, but also looking at these damage numbers, slightly higher, but obviously Phoenix doesn't really block much damage. Anyway, good match all around. Healing numbers looking great from our supports. Generally good to see, good round, and we will see you all in the next one in probably like 2 minutes. So, bye-bye. Alrighty, time for round 2. Alright, yet another instance, as we saw very, very frustratingly last night, that no one knows what the hell is going on with a new map system. But hopefully this will be working correctly. This one should be picked by them, but as we can see here, it's not showing up all of the maps. But looking like we're gonna get some Spider Islands. Love to see it. I love watching this map. You will not catch me dead playing this map voluntarily, but that's okay. That's okay. If my OBS could stop disappearing, I would really appreciate it. That being said. All right. Oh boy. Are you ready, kids? Gonna be a good one. I'm so sorry. Their name is Slybuprofen. That's iconic as hell. I gotta be so honest. Type shit I've had into my user before, but all right. So what are we gonna see here? What are we gonna see? Another immediate Namor ban. Iconic. We did see our sub out, so we've got Fox on, Carter off, which means maybe we'll get some more Cloak and Dagger. I'm interested to see where that goes. Now that we've got more consistent subbing, it does make for a very interesting team comp change, because generally we only sub out people who play the same positions, obviously, but most of our team flexes, which means it's really just subbing out who plays what characters. However, as time has gone on, most of our supports pretty much play almost everything. So it's really just indicative of how flexible our team is, which you'll note why we're actually cracked, and we're not gonna let the devil out tonight. That's okay. We gotta let the devil out last night. Maybe we'll see it in the 3rd round, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. They're gonna ban him, but we might get some Rogue in here. I'm wondering. I don't know. With a Gambit ban, we're less likely to see Rogue kind of by default, but Peyton pulled onto her. I think it was Peyton. Played her like 3 weeks ago, and I think Rogue's just super fun to watch. Them banning Loki, not really that impactful for us because we actually subbed out our Loki player, but I guess that's not, you know, they could have picked a way more impactful ban, so certainly not mad about it, but didn't see much change otherwise. We did ban Elsa after last round, given the fact that despite the small changes, she is still pretty cracked, low-key. The distinction with Elsa is the learning curve for her is a little bit steeper. Not in terms of literally being able to function it, but in comp play, she's just kind of a very clunky character. Once you get used to it, once you put the hours in, she functions incredibly and can be pretty overpowered on a team comp that really supports the fact that she moves very slow. I have a ton of hours on Cloak and Dagger, one of the slowest characters in the game. Elsa, swapping literally directly in between them, walks slower for no reason. Don't really know how she's hunting anything down like that, but she moves pretty slowly, which means that you need a team comp that's going to support that and let her actually fit in well from behind, which also makes positioning a lot more important. Which is why, since they have a good Elsa player, last round we did see quite a bit of damage come from that to our team comp and our positioning. So banning her definitely makes a lot of sense. Looking like what they're swapping out, though, is they're running triple sup, like we did last round, and we are also running triple sup. So we've got Mantis on Cass, and what we have noted every time Cass pulls out Mantis is the Cass. Listen. You can take the DPS character out of the hands of a DPS player. What you cannot do is take the DPS out of the way that player is going to play any character ever. We have seen time and time again, every time Cass pulls out Mantis, that she literally just plays her like DPS. And for some supports that works really well, like Mantis, because you see she moves fast, she jumps very effectively, and what she can do is heal and harm in the same rate, which makes for a pretty good sequencing for someone who plays well as a DPS. Seeing, oh, hello, there we go. Rocket ult here, not quite, basically the way Rocket's ult works is he puts that, I forget what it's called, his like stabilizer situation in the center, and then it like gives buffs to everyone around it who's in the vicinity, allies of course. And what that means is it charges a little bit slower than some other ones because it ends up buffing the whole team. But looking like we're about to get a mag ult here, maybe? One of my favorite ults. Unfortunately one of the ones that whiffs frustratingly often, but getting also, actually let's pop over to this because we might see this soon as they come around the corner, or if they get to a choke point here, which will be around the next corner, since we're about halfway to the next checkpoint. Those, well, actually we're not gonna see the Iron Man ult, but that's okay. Especially just talking to someone earlier about how you know, Tony Stark is such an interesting character because he's represented so differently in every piece of media he's in. And in this one, he's such a funky guy. He's such a funky guy. He does like crazy. There it is. Clean KO right into the side from their spawn point. That was absolutely gorgeous. And then, you know, immediately died, but still damage was done, and damage was done well. I'm curious, pop up these real quick. Looking at pretty well spread out damage stats actually from our team here. But we are gonna get a Mantis ult soon. If everyone doesn't die first, gosh golly. Yeah, we got right to the checkpoint, which does put our time up, so not too big of a deal, but looking like we're just gonna wait for everyone to meet up again. There we are. Because this kind of thing, when you get to a checkpoint, it is a space that is built for everyone to be at. That's how checkpoints work. Which means that it's way more impactful for us to wait, group up, and then storm it, especially when we currently have 3 ult charged. Because what we need to do here is just to get that control back as fast as possible. Since they currently have possession here, anything they do is going to be pushing it back until we actually gain control. It won't stall nearly as fast. So we can see here, did pull that back within less than a minute. It was like 42 seconds or something like that. I wasn't really counting. Didn't check the timer super accurately, but looking like that, we've pulled back possession, and now we are headed towards the 3rd checkpoint with over 4 minutes to go. Friendly reminder, you start with 4 minutes in this round of game. And what that means is you start with 4 minutes, then you have to get possession, because here there aren't, you have to capture it. And then from there, you have 4 minutes to run through and get as far as you can. Every checkpoint you reach, you get a point, which means at the end of this, you can get up to 3 points. That being said, every time you hit a checkpoint, your timer increases, because running through the whole thing in 4 minutes is not really possible unless the other team doesn't actually even put a hand on you, which is why it's designed to increase, because that actually gives incentives for the checkpoints to matter, other than just changing spawn points. Oversee. Got one of those. That should not have whiffed like that, but you know what? Sure. Hit right in the hitbox, but we don't need to worry about that. But yes, and so what's gonna pull here is we're about to get 3 points, which means that it's gonna swap over to the other team, and the other team is going to have 4 minutes to do the same thing. They're gonna try to get as many points as they can in their 4 minutes. And instead of them stopping us, we are going to try to stop them. So if what usually happens here, in a match that's towards the end of the season, when both, you know, if both teams have a good record and both teams are putting up an evenly matched fight, then what we would see is them get to the same 3 points we got to. Maybe it would go a little faster, maybe it would go a little slower, but they're still going to end up at 3-3. But you cannot get the round point until one of those goes up to 4. So then it swaps back over to us, and we have as much time to get a single point, and vice versa. So here there's a whole lot of benefit to starting on attack in this game, because in this format, it just, going first does have perhaps more of an impact than it should, which is part of why the other team gets to pick the map. Because choosing the map has, in a game like Rivals, an obscene amount of impact. Because a lot of the maps are very cluttered, and a lot of them don't work for certain team comps. So we saw last season, for an entire month and a half of it, dive was one of the most common team comps. One of the most aggravating. Literally no one likes it. It's awful, but it does exist. Kind of just have to deal with it. What that means is when you choose certain maps instead of other ones, dive comp might literally just not even be viable at all. Because if you have a map where there's nowhere to dive to, then you can't dive. And vice versa. If a team is trying to play dive, they're going to want to pick a map that lets you dive. Which is why map control swaps to the losing team most of the time. One of the biggest changes we've seen this season, for those of us who were not here or who do not remember, we've whined and bitched and moaned about it almost every week, but about a month and a half ago, Rivals instituted a change in comp play that makes it so that the first round domination map is randomly decided, which you saw earlier, randomly decided, and we ended up in Hell's Heaven. For us, that's not bad because we play on Hell's Heaven enough to be very comfortable with it, but randomizing the first map changes a lot, because in both Convoy and Convergence, the teams swap sides and everybody gets to play everything. In Domination, you just go straight through. And if you have possession, you have possession, and then it swaps over if you don't have possession, and so on and so forth. What that means is that the map choice can have a bit more of an impact, especially because it's the first round of play. What did not happen, however, was Rivals communicating with the NECC, which meant that we, E-Griffins over here, had a match literally 8 hours after Rivals put out that change, and the NECC barely had time to say anything about it, to put out any rules changes in our processing, in our laws, in how we ran our matches. So that made things a little bit dicey for us, but now we're all just kind of used to it. See this mag ult right here? Oh yeah. So that's the kind of mag ult that I really love to see, right? Because any character can go up in the air, can, reach down, snipe someone. Not that crazy, we see it all the time. But something like that, where you've pulled around, hit one of their DPS that is on the side, is not only cooler, more impactful for the team, because there's a whole lot of people on frontline right now, and perhaps Max was the only one who even saw that character over there. But regardless,
By the
see their Strange ult pulling us in for a sec. Not gonna do too much damage to us. We are getting near our Strange ult also, but unfortunately we're looking at half a team wipe here. Not too big of a deal for us, considering they are down to less than a minute and a half with virtually no progress to the checkpoint. My guess here, with how far this is moving, even if we don't take possession for another 15 seconds, they're just barely going to be past half to checkpoint, which means that there's a pretty good chance that they're not even going to get 1 point here, not to jinx it. They very well could, right? Because we're hitting about 3/4 now, but with us able to storm like that all at once after grouping up, that possession could swap over pretty fast. We're contesting it right now, which means their progress is halted. So we see, there it is, clean kill there. I believe that was a one-shot, but I don't really pay that much attention to their health bars. And there's an ace from us, which means, as you can see here, it is going to get pushed back, and they are now sub 30 seconds. I don't remember the exact calculations for it, but it's pretty damn hard to get anywhere in 15 seconds. I think you can only move half a checkpoint if you have full possession, which means this one's pretty much in the bag for us, unless it goes into overtime, which it will, if they had possession. There it is. See, because now they're contesting, which means our progress is halted, so it's going to be like, oh no, but they could get it back. Even if they do, they don't have enough time to do anything with it. Especially because we have 3 clean points here. It would be a lot different if they had 2 and we're nearing 3. But this is going to look pretty fine for us. And then after this, we'll be on our next map.
I'm taking requests. Strong, angry.
and there it is, and there it is. Since Ruthless isn't here to get all excited about it, I don't know where he is. Fun fact. Big win! Another victory here. Good to see, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We see him all the time. But still, of course, proud of the team, as always. Strange MVP here. I'm sure Jess is very happy about the fact that Peyton took MVP again. But with these stats, he 100% deserved it. This insane damage differential here, especially with how high that blockage is too. And, you know, noting here, obviously pretty good stats. Trusty sidekick, not surprising. 50 assists coming from Cass here. Again, playing support as DPS, which is going to lend you to a whole lot of assists because supports, just the way their attacks hit is going to lead you with a lot of assists here. However, that 38 and 47 down here from our other two supports, nuts in one round, absolutely crazy. That was a really good round of gameplay. Our stats definitely reflect that because, you know, both teams have a lot of healing, both teams have a lot of damage. Ours just way higher, but definitely excited to see what our next map is going to be. I will send you guys over and we'll be back probably in 2 minutes. So, bye-bye. Alrighty. Any of us who were here last night will note we cannot put this map on our map board, which is why you guys didn't see it before I swapped over. This map just came out at the recent season drop, which means that it is getting a lot of comp play because everyone's like, oh my god, it's a new map. Also because it is a very dynamic map and it's low-key pretty fun to look at. Music, also fire. That being said, since we're a little less familiar with it, just as everyone is, it can be a little bit more dicey, but as someone who streams this every week, it's really nice to see a different map, because when we're looking at comp play, any situation in which you get to choose maps, there are like 5 maps in any given gameplay that just no one's ever going to choose because they suck to play on. They're just not fun, or there's really only one viable team comp for it, and that just leads to a lot less enjoyment overall. So you kind of just see the same maps over and over and over again, week to week, match to match, which means that seeing a new one here, even if we've now seen it, you know, literally 12 hours apart, is still really entertaining. I think it brings a whole lot more diversity to what we can see from the characters. We see a little bit of differential in who's playing what, and clearly they're all playing Spider-Man this round, which is very exciting for us. This is extra funny to me because we subbed out Blake, who has lored on Spider-Man, and is, in fact, one of the only people who consistently plays Spider-Man at all. So I'm sure they're giggling about it in the other room right now, but, yeah, I don't know. I think this one's gonna be exciting. We've already got 2 or 3 points, and even though they picked this map, we, are definitely set well to do it. Starting on attack, also better for us, because getting those points up in the first place is the hardest part. Them protecting Elsa means we're going to see some more Elsa gameplay. Great for me, not great for the team, but that's okay. They missed a protect here, which is interesting. I'm wondering if that was in chat anywhere, or if that just, they could be talking about it in NECC, or maybe they just decided not to protect a character, which would be an objectively bad decision. But there always could have been something talked about in chat, since they are in the NECC server now anyway. But same protects we've been seeing generally, and really similar bans. Their Warlock has been doing pretty crazy work for the team, so seeing that ban from us, not surprising. And them swapping over to the mag ban is, I mean, I have to respect it, right? Because banning the same characters every round when you're losing doesn't make sense. If you are already losing, what is the point in doing the same thing over and over again that you've been doing that you lost doing? So seeing them swap their bans does make a lot of sense. I just find it a little bit interesting which ones they chose specifically. Phoenix, I understand, but Mag, of course, very powerful, but they saw in the first round that our Mag player, the second round, Max, did insanely well on Emma anyway. That being said, we are seeing some tank pool again, which always exciting. Sorry, peep the Hella skin. I love this one so much. Anyway, we did see some Hella from, I think it was Cass last night. Wild pool, was not expecting it, but very exciting nonetheless. Ruthless, of course, discovered that Hella is, her ult is broken, which is why everyone runs the second you hear the voice line. You know, very iconic voice line that means, oh shit, let's go. That being said, see, we've got Jeff Ducky and their friends, and they're hugging. Oh my god.
The battle starts in 5.
I literally love when the character interactions aren't just like sassy, boring voice lines. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean they do dances and they hug? That's so cute. Anyway, shout out Ducky Jeff. I'm gonna miss him during playoffs when he's nerfed as hell, but that's okay. See, got Payne down already immediately, but we did get Max down, but traded for their Thing player. Not surprising. I'm gonna watch him Deadpool because we don't see a ton of him, not nearly as much as we were expecting. Part of that is because he did get balanced after he initially dropped, which was, he dropped end of December or beginning of January. Time isn't real, especially not during winter break. But yeah, he dropped it completely through the entire meta because they set the character up. Explain this to Helen back every week because it's still wacky to see. But you know, when you design one character that's actually 3 characters but functions as both 1 character and 3 characters, just kind of throws things off. He was pretty crazy at first, same as Daredevil, actually absolutely wrecked the meta. And then Gambit did same thing. Rogue to a lesser extent, but then Deadpool came in and it was like, oh, actually nothing anyone ever does is real because now everyone's just always playing Deadpool. And his sequencing, complex, but the second you get it down, it's absolutely crazy. Same situation we see with Daredevil. But because there are 3 different versions of Deadpool and you have to ban them all separately, we don't see a ton of Deadpool bans. Also, since, are we gonna get a Jeff Nato? Oh my god, there it is, folks, there it is! Best part of the entire game right now, when we lose this team up, I'm going to cry. I hope you all know the second it happens, I will be on stream complaining about it, and I am 100% sure Ruthless will be too. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, Jeff Nato, literally nothing matters to me more than fluffy, ducky Jeff in a literal tornado from one of my favorite Marvel characters. Shout out Storm, a baddie for many years. I'll never forget all that you did for me. There's another Emma ult here, which, oh my god, that range, gorgeous. Hitting quad on that single ult is absolutely insane. That sequencing from the team, perfect timing, right? Because we got them all down enough that we knew with that one ult, despite how short that time can feel sometimes, was able to clear 4 people at once, which is almost a full ace for us. So now we already have 2 of the 3 points we need here. Our time over 5 minutes. At least from the way we are seeing this sort of domination come from our team right now, doesn't really seem like we're gonna have much difficulty contesting that last point. But also, shout out to this map. Like I said earlier, it looks cool as hell. Get another Jeff Nato here in 12% of Jeff's ult. Looking like we're nearing, there's 100. Where's it gonna be? Where's it gonna be? There it is. There it is, folks. Another Jeff NATO. See what the Jeff, there it is. Oh yeah, the boy. Take a couple of those screenshots just for Ruthless later. For anyone who was here at the beginning of last season, you will recall when we discovered that F12, even when you're in here, I cannot rebind to not be the screenshot button because this desktop won't let me, which means that every time we click over to whoever the 6th player set is on our team, we take a screenshot, which is very fun. We've got a cloak ult here. Oh my god, gorgeous with this skin and always good at clearing. We're looking at half a wipe here. And doing pretty well otherwise. We are a little over half charge on another Jeff NATO. Glorious to see as always. And just in time for the last point of that, I'm joined. Your resident president now welcomes that guy who has not been here the whole time, but normally is.
Oh my gosh.
I said your jokes for you, by the way.
Yes!
Yeah, you're gonna watch the VOD back and be like, oh my god, they did it!
I am absolutely gonna watch this VOD back.
Dude, you can't judge me. You can't judge me, okay? You cannot judge me because OBS was bugging out and I didn't realize I was streaming alone today. Not allowed to make fun of me.
You weren't supposed to be streaming alone today, but we just finished the most infuriating Smash match ever. It was an 0-6 team going into this.
Oh my god, what?
And they not only called us out on our connection, made us take pictures of our connection to our Switch and our screen to make sure that we were wired in. Then they tried to stall us out when they were 9 stocks down. Oh, it was so infuriating. It wasn't even close.
That's just like actually psychotic. I'm so sorry. This is like, that is somehow worse than the team that we just had.
They were stalling us out, and then so it was a Sora versus an Incineroar.
What are you even doing there?
For people that know, the Sora was stalling us out. Our Incineroar was standing on the opposite side of the stage, and he taunted once. And they sent me in the chat, hey, just a reminder, no taunting. And I'm like, you're literally stalling right now.
I'm so sorry.
Don't talk to me.
No taunting. You are playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate competitively? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Are people being too mean in your video games for you? Like, what are you doing? You're already losing, okay?
Oh,
cry about it to someone else next time.
Holy.
Sorry, that's a little bit too mean.
I'm not gonna lie. I blocked the person because we were talking over Discord because they didn't want to talk on League OS.
That seems...
I blocked them as soon as the match was over to protect my job.
You know what?
Because I was going to say something that was going to get me fired.
I'm proud of you for that. You, I fear, are a better man than I. Actually, maybe not me, but you are a better man than Cass. She would have said some actually nasty
Oh boy.
For anyone who, I don't actually know if we mentioned it on stream last night, but we had to tell you had to tell the team to not talk during
and then
the
they
match.
Iron Pumpkined them at the end of the game.
They did Iron Pumpkin them right at the end.
God.
Right as victory was clinched, they were like, good game, GG, Iron Pumpkin spam in the chat. I feel like that's a reference that will never die for this team. Like, I'm expecting, like, I don't know. I at least personally think that's something that has to be carried on even when people start graduating in a few years, because nothing will ever, you know what? No one expects the Iron Pumpkin, just like the Spanish Inquisition. There it is, there it is, there it is. I knew you were gonna get to see one of these.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and wiped out. We did discover yesterday she doesn't have nearly as much invulnerability as you would expect there, but that sequencing from their team just, I mean, you know, it's gonna happen sometimes. Probably gonna wait for a little bit of a regroup here, but there it is. Everyone back. Getting ready to see what's gonna happen next. We already have that Deadpool ult charged at 0 is so crazy to see, but timing on it, I guess, just happens. Portaling right into a Cloak and Dagger ult, something we see quite frequently, literally always insane.
Bro, you know
But-
Deadpool enjoyed getting grabbed by Emma there.
Okay, so there's some things that we don't actually have to say.
Am I wrong?
Okay, let's give it another shot.
I was on the wrong page and I went to press it and I almost just pressed like one of the full theme songs. Listen.
Wait, was that bleep? The
Yeah.
sound? Okay. I thought it was Deadpool for a
No,
moment.
I'm censoring you from
Okay.
saying actually insane things on stream. I mean, like, listen, we all know it, and the voice lines.
Wait, does he say something about it?
No, not that specifically. Just all of it. I mean, it's Wait. What are you expecting?
I mean,
Like, it's. This is the whole point. Speaking of, there it is for you. Alright. So, what was that? What was that Smash match?
I had
the bracket
already
here?
filled it in 2-0 before we started the
Just
match.
assumed?
Yes,
That seems
I was not wrong.
good sportsmanship, guys. Good sportsmanship here. We love to see it. Whoa! Got some Angela here, though. Let's go. We're no longer furry Angela era.
Is this like a new skin or?
Yeah.
Oh.
This
okay.
is oh my god. I freaking love this skin because it sequences so well with the other set of skins. This is I think it's technically in the Thieves Guild line. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I'm really bad at names. I just know what they all look like. And which ones I want to buy and won't buy because I don't play any of the characters. Listen, the day they release an actually good Hawkeye skin, I will probably spend real money on the game. But for now, I play my regular default Hawkeye skin and cry about it because I don't look as cool as everyone else. But another Driftnado for you, catching the tail end of it. There it is. Penta! I'm so sorry. Penta on the Driftnado.
Let's go.
Insane pull. Not really that surprising, but we do love to see it. Every time you hit a penta in a comp match like this with a team that sequences so well, it's just very impressive, right? Because generally speaking, everyone on the team is getting consistent kills, which means there usually aren't 5 people on their team alive for 1 person to kill. We did see earlier, I think a little before you got here, a absolutely insanely clean quad on an Emma ult. Because they set it up right near an archway so that everyone was weakened, and then she pulled the Emma ult, captured everyone in it. It was beautiful.
Did that Strange ult miss everybody?
Yes,
All right.
I believe so. We've actually seen 2 or 3 with Strange ults this match. It's not. Another triple from Jess here.
I saw the animation and Jess was like in it, but like around the corner. I didn't
Yeah.
know it worked like that.
So the some of the ults ignore cover, some of them kind of ignore cover, some of them are supposed to and don't, and that's really dependent on the map because some of the maps, like the cover boxes, don't actually alter your hitbox that they're supposed to, which I mean it's not something you don't see in a ton of games all the time, but this is another Mantis here that'll center us a little bit on the action. As we can see, doing pretty well here for us. Oh dear. That's okay, we're still cracked. Oh yeah.
Did you hear how sad Carter is about
Oh yeah.
Jeff changes?
I'm also sad about it, don't worry. I think I mentioned it probably 3 different times because it's one of the most tragic changes we will ever have, right? Because it's not that Carter can't play several other supports very well. It's that we won't get any more Jeff Nato. Look at that. Look at that. I love my Pikmin sound effect.
Wait. I thought somebody had to be close to initiate the overtime. It doesn't matter.
No, it's just if you're not, overtime happens if there is like, pretty much just if you're not at full points. Like if there's the Iron Pumpkin that we talked about.
This is
They'll never stop. They'll never
somebody's.
stop.
Yeah, I think I've created a monster.
I don't think you had anything to do with Iron Pumpkin. In fact, I think we are just lucky that it is not every single time they open chat, like it was when the emoji came out. But
W emote. You know
oh my
what?
god! So now they're definitely never letting it go. But before we hop off here, again, great match. Let's take a look at these stats one more time. MVP to Jess after the penta and 2 quads we saw. Not surprising there. This damage count actually cracked. Actually insane here, especially with how high that blockage is as well. You know, nothing super surprising. Actually, Fox clinched that trusty sidekick super crazy here, though I will give a shout out. Max healing here all the way around there. They are invis, which testament to the fact that that was actually a pretty good match to watch. Yeah, generally super proud of everyone. That sequencing was great, and you all better be back to join us for playoffs next
Next week.
Tuesday?
Next week.
Question mark?
Everybody's playoffs start next week.
Do we know what day of the week it is?
Tuesday.
Okay, that's what I said. I said Tuesday with a question mark. Yeah,
Oh.
there we go. It's Tuesday. Congratulances. It's Tuesday again. But yeah, be back for playoffs. Gonna be our second playoffs in a row, unsurprisingly. And hopefully we'll make it through as champions again this time. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Have a great night. Get some sleep, because better be ready for next week. Let's go team.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Yay! Good night.